He thought it was just a rare steak. Until it blinked. Jack was tired, cold, and hungry. After a long mission across the galaxy, the human traveler finally reached Orion Station 7, a shining place full of lights, aliens, and sounds. He walked past shops and robots, ignoring the noise, until he saw something that caught his attention. A glowing sign above a door read, "Galactic, taste rare meals from rare worlds." His stomach growled. Jack had eaten the same dried protein cubes for weeks. Now he wanted real food, a proper meal, maybe even a steak. He stepped inside. The restaurant was strange but beautiful. Soft purple lights floated in the air. Alien music played in the background, and every table was filled with rich aliens wearing expensive robes and jewelry. A tall, four-armed waiter noticed Jack and raised a brow. "Human? Rare to see one here," the waiter said. Jack smiled. "I'm just passing through." "I heard you serve good food." The waiter's lip curled into a smile. "We serve special food." He led Jack to a private table by a window showing the stars. "Would you like to see the menu?" the waiter asked. Jack looked at the digital screen. Strange names, unknown dishes. None of it made sense. "I just want something good," Jack said. "Give me your best steak." The waiter leaned closer. "We have something special. It's not on the menu. Only one guest per night is offered it." Jack raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" The waiter smiled wider. "It's called the living rarity. Served fresh. Still breathing." Jack laughed. "Is this some kind of alien joke?" "No, sir. It's legal and very expensive. But you look like someone who deserves a rare taste." Jack was curious now. He pulled out his credit chip. "Fine. Surprise me." The waiter bowed deeply. "Very good choice, human. Please wait here." Jack leaned back, enjoying the view of the stars. He had no idea what was coming, but he liked trying new things. This was just another story to tell when he got back to Earth. A few minutes later, the lights in the room dimmed slightly. Music changed to a softer tone. A silver cart rolled in, pushed by two servers. On the cart was a dome-shaped metal cover. Steam rose from the base. Jack grinned. "Is this the steak?" The waiter placed the dish before him and slowly lifted the cover, but it wasn't a steak. It was a girl. An alien girl. She was small, maybe the size of a teenage human. Her skin was pale blue, her hair soft and silver, her eyes large and glowing with fear. She was curled up, wearing nothing but a thin silver cloth. Her wrists were chained gently to the plate. She was trembling. Jack's mouth fell open. "What? Is this?" he whispered. The waiter smiled. "Your dish, sir. The living rarity." Jack stood up. "She's alive. She's a person." The waiter tilted his head. "She is bred for taste. Her kind has no language, no culture, no rights. She is yours to enjoy." The girl looked up. Her lips moved. Jack froze. She whispered in broken English, "Please don't eat me." Everyone at the nearby tables clapped and laughed. One alien even shouted. He got the talkative one. "Lucky human." Jack's hands turned to fists. His heart beat fast. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a show. This was real. He stared at the girl. Her eyes were wide with terror. She didn't even try to run. She knew there was nowhere to go. "Take the chains off her," Jack said, his voice low. The waiter looked surprised. "That's not part of the experience," I said. Jack growled. "Unlock her, now." The waiter frowned. "Sir, if you refuse the dish, there's no refund. I don't care." Jack stepped around the table, gently pulled the girl up, and held her close. She was shaking. She was cold. "Where did you get her?" he asked. "She was grown in the back like all others. She is not unique." The girl looked up at Jack. Tears ran down her cheeks. She whispered again, softer this time. "Please help. Jack looked at the waiter, at the guards near the door, at the guests who were still laughing. He knew what he had to do. Asterisk, she wasn't food. She was a secret no one wanted found. For a long second, everything was silent. Jack stood with the alien girl in his arms, her chain still clinking softly, her body light and shaking. His heart pounded like a drum in his chest. Then a voice from across the room said, "He's ruining the experience." More laughter followed. One alien snapped a picture. Another waved at Jack mockingly. "Eat her or leave, human." But Jack didn't move. The alien girl, blue-skinned, silver-haired, held onto him tightly now. Her voice was soft, but her words were sharp. "They lied. I can speak. I can think. I was taken." Jack looked into her glowing eyes. They weren't dull. They were full of pain and fear and intelligence. She wasn't a dish dot, she was someone. Jack turned to the waiter. "This is slavery." "No, sir," the waiter said calmly. "It's dinner." A quiet alarm beeped near the kitchen. Jack didn't wait. He grabbed the girl's chains, ripped the plate's magnetic locks from the base, and pulled her close. Then he backed toward the door. "I'm walking out with her," he warned. The waiter's smile dropped. "I wouldn't do that, human." The restaurant's side wall opened, and from it came a tall, armored security bot. Red lights blinked in its eyes. It aimed a weapon straight at Jack. "Warning," the bot said. "Return the meal to the plate." Jack's jaw tightened. "She's not a meal." He looked around quickly. No one was helping. Not one guest. Not one staff member. But then the alien girl whispered, "There's a back door. Kitchen, left corner. Hurry." Jack nodded once. He yanked a metal fork from the table and threw it toward the bot. It clinked uselessly off its armor, but it gave him a second. He ran, holding the girl tightly. Chains still trailing, Jack crashed through the swinging kitchen doors. The heat hit him hard, boiling pots, burning oil and steam everywhere. But worse than the heat was what he saw. Cages, dozens of them, lined up behind the freezers. Each one held a girl. Different colors, sizes, species. Some were asleep. Others stared at him. One reached out weakly. Jack whispered, "What is this place?" The girl answered, "They call it fine dining." Before Jack could ask more, the security bot crashed through the doors behind him. Unauthorized movement. Target identified. Lethal. Force authorized. Run! The girl shouted. Jack sprinted toward the back corner of the kitchen. The girl pointed at a cold storage door. "There, behind that." He slammed it open, and sure enough, a narrow, dark hallway stretched behind crates of frozen meat. They dashed inside. The door slammed shut just as the bot fired behind them, scorching the frame. Jack kept running. The girl slipped once on ice, but he caught her and kept going. "Do you have a name?" he asked, breathless. She hesitated, then nodded. "Lyra, my name is Lyra." "Well, Lyra," Jack said, "I think I just stole you from a nightmare." She looked up at him, confused. "Why did you help me?" Jack didn't answer right away. Then he simply said, "Because no one else did." Behind them, the bots. Footsteps faded for now, but Jack knew this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Asterisk, he thought the worst was behind them. Until he saw the freezer open. The narrow hallway behind the freezer was cold. Too cold. Jack's breath came out in white clouds. He held Lyra close as they moved deeper into the dark space. The air smelled like metal and something worse, something rotting. Lyra whispered, "This place, it's more than a restaurant. It's a farm." Jack frowned. "A farm?" She nodded slowly. "They grow girls like me. They feed us, shape us, teach us to stay quiet. We were made to be eaten." Jack couldn't believe it. "Made? They don't just capture us," Lyra said. "They create us in tanks. If one escapes, they replace her in days." Jack felt his stomach twist. This wasn't a kitchen. It was a factory. Suddenly, A soft mechanical hum echoed from behind. Jack turned and saw it. Massive freezer door creaked open by itself. Inside was something he would never forget. Hundreds of clear pods filled the chamber. Inside each pod was an alien girl, just like Lyra, sleeping, floating, waiting. Some looked like children. Some looked older. All were perfect. All were still. Lyra stopped walking. Her knees shook. That one. She pointed with a trembling hand. She's my sister. Jack stared at the girl in the pod, almost an exact copy of Lyra, only with slightly darker hair. She was taken before me, Lyra said softly. They said she was too emotional to be served. So they froze her. Jack stepped closer to the pod. The girl's eyes moved behind her lids. She's still alive, he said. Lyra nodded. Barely. But if they wake her, it will be to feed her to someone. Jack looked around the chamber. The pod stretched deep into the walls like a terrible alien graveyard, except no one was dead. Yet suddenly, a loud voice echoed through hidden speakers. You should not have come this far, human. Jack turned fast. Who said that? The voice continued, calm and deep. You were offered the rarest meal in the galaxy. And you refused. That was a mistake. Lyra clutched Jack's sleeve. It's the head butcher. Jack pulled her behind him. We're leaving. Try and stop us. Oh, we will, the voice replied. With a loud hiss, vents in the ceiling opened. Cold air poured down. Red lights began to flash. The pods started glowing one by one. Lyra's eyes widened. They're waking them up, all of them. Jack grabbed her hand. Why? What are they doing? They're going to erase them. If the secret's out, they'll kill all the products, burn the evidence. Jack looked at the nearest pod. The girl inside began to shake violently. Machines beeped. Liquid drained. They're not products. He shouted, they're people. Lyra's voice cracked. Then save us. Save even one more. Without thinking, Jack smashed his elbow into the control panel next to the pod. Sparks flew. The pod hissed and slid open. The girl inside coughed. Hard and blinked. Eyes wild. She whispered, Lyra? Lyra ran to her, tears in her eyes. Syrah, you're alive. Jack pulled both girls to their feet. We're getting out of this nightmare. I don't care what I have to break. Behind them, the hallway lights began to shut down. One by one. Darkness was coming. And something worse was following. Asterisk, he came for dinner. Now he was running for his life with two alien girls who were never meant to survive. The sirens were screaming. Now red lights blinked across the ceiling like angry eyes. Pipes hissed. Cold steam rose from the floor. Every door slammed shut behind Jack as he ran, holding both Lyra and her sister, Syrah, by the hand. They were no longer guests. They were targets. Jack's boots slammed on the metal floor. The girls struggled to keep up. Syrah had just come out of a pod. Her legs were weak, her eyes dazed. She can't run fast. Lyra cried. Jack didn't stop. We have to try. A voice echoed from the walls, calm, smooth, and full of poison. Attention. One human thief and two defective meals are loose. Eliminate on sight. Suddenly, mechanical doors opened ahead of them. 3 more security bots marched out, blocking the hallway. Their red eyes glowed. Long metal arms rose like spears. Lyra screamed. Jack didn't hesitate. He looked to his left. A food delivery cart. He grabbed the tray off the top and slammed it into the nearest bot. It barely flinched, but it noticed him now. Run! He shouted to the girls. Left door, now. They ducked into a storage room. Jack backed in after them and slammed the heavy lock. It wouldn't hold for long. Inside, the room was full of cold meat trays, spice racks, and a large rolling platter cart with a silver dome. Jack pointed at it. Get in, Lyra blinked. What? You two, he said. Get under the dome. Now. Sierra, still dizzy, climbed in first. Lyra followed. Jack covered them and adjusted the cloth around the base. From outside, it looked like nothing but a dish, just another delivery. The lock behind him clicked loudly. The bots were cutting through the door. Jack grabbed the handles of the cart and pushed it hard. He burst out of the room right into the path of the bots. They scanned him, identify object. One bot said. Jack kept his head down and muttered in a calm voice, special delivery. VIP request. Delicate meat. The bots paused, one beeped. Confirmed, proceed. Jack didn't breathe until he passed them. Step by step. He rolled the cart toward the kitchen's loading dock. He knew he didn't have long. One wrong move, and they'd open the dome. One wrong answer, and they'd open fire. The hallway twisted left. Two chefs stood near the exit, chatting in low voices. Jack raised a hand casually. Private meal. Urgent order. They barely looked at him. One waved him through. The doors hissed open. Outside. Finally. Cold. Night air hit his face. Jack pushed the cart down a narrow metal ramp toward the back alley of the restaurant. No lights. No cameras. When they were far enough, he stopped and pulled the dome off. The girls gasped, breathing hard. Lyra looked around. Where are we? Jack scanned the shadows. The waste chute behind the kitchen. They won't think to check here. Not right away, Sierra coughed. I'm sorry. I slowed you down. Jack shook his head. You survived. That's all that matters. Then his face hardened. We're not just escaping anymore, he said. We're going to expose this place. Lyra looked up at him. You'd risk that for us? Jack met her eyes. No one treated you like people. I will, and I'll make them pay for what they did. But in the darkness, something moved above them. Jack looked up sharply. High on the rooftop. A glowing red eye blinked. They were being watched. Asterisk, they escaped the kitchen. But now the whole station was hungry for them. The stars above were cold and silent, but the station below was awake. Jack held his breath as he led Lyra and Sierra through the back alleys of Orion Station 7. They had escaped the kitchen, but now danger followed them with every step. Behind them, sirens were gone. Lights were off. The hunt had changed. Now it was silent. Now it was personal. Lyra whispered, They won't stop. You took me. You took her. Jack kept moving. Then we stay ahead of them. Sierra stumbled again. Her skin was pale, still weak from the freezing pod. Jack picked her up without a word. She weighed nothing. They ducked into an old maintenance tunnel, hidden behind rusted metal crates. A flickering light showed a broken mirror on the wall. That's when Jack saw it. His own face. There was a symbol glowing faintly on his neck. A red circle with a slash burned into his skin. He touched it, confused. What the hell? Lyra stepped forward. Her face fell. They tagged you. What? She looked at the mark. You're marked now. Like us, the station sees you as property, not a person. Jack stared at her. So now I'm one of their dishes? She nodded slowly. They won't just hunt you for helping us. They'll serve you for punishment. Jack clenched his jaw. Let them try. Suddenly footsteps. Fast. Heavy. Too many. Jack peeked out of the tunnel. Dozens of bounty hunters were spreading through the alleys. Alien mercenaries, robots. Some sniffed the air. Others scanned the ground. One shouted, He has the tagged ones. The reward doubles if they're breathing. Another laughed, or if he's not. Jack pulled back. We need cover. We need a place they won't look. Sierra looked up weakly. The deep drains. Under the floor pipes. No one goes there. Jack nodded. Show me. They crawled deeper into the tunnel system. The walls got tighter, darker, wetter. Steam hissed from every pipe. They were moving beneath the city, now under the restaurants. Under the markets, Jack's body was covered in sweat. And something else, his mark was getting hotter. Lyra noticed. They're tracking us, Jack groaned. Through this thing? She nodded. It's not just a symbol, it's a signal. Then let's cut it out, he growled. No, she said quickly. If we damage it, they'll send in hunters with no rules. The kind that don't ask questions. Jack breathed hard. So how do we survive? Lyra's eyes turned sharp. We don't hide anymore. We fight back. Jack blinked. You want to fight? I want to be free, she whispered. Don't you? Before Jack could answer, a distant sound echoed through the tunnels. Click, click. Click. Metal feet. Slow, heavy, then a voice deep and calm. Run all you want, human. But every hunter on this station has your scent now. Jack turned to the girls. We're not running anymore. He lifted a metal rod from the floor, heavy, strong, ready. If they want to hunt, he said, they'll find prey that bites back. He was just a traveler yesterday. Now there's a price on his head and blood in his hands. Jack's hands were shaking, not from fear, from what he had just done. The floor beneath him was wet not with water, but with oil. And alien blood. Bounty Hunter lay motionless behind him, its metal skull cracked open. Jack stood over the body, holding a broken pipe, breathing hard. Lyra and Sierra stared at him, wide-eyed. It was the first time they'd seen him fight. Jack had always been a quiet man, a peaceful man. But now? Now he was something else. Lyra stepped closer. He was a top-level hunter from the Crimson Trade Guild. Jack didn't answer. He just kept staring at his own hands. Sierra spoke softly. You saved us. Jack looked up. No, he said quietly. That was a warning. They're not sending guards anymore. They're sending killers. He bent down and picked up the hunter's ID tag. The screen on it blinked. Target, Jack Walters Price, 500,000. UNITS, dead or alive. Below that were two more names. Lyra, unstable meat unit. Sierra. Rejected sample, disposed. Lyra's face turned pale. They listed us like garbage. Jack crushed the tag in his hand. Not anymore. He turned to them both. We're going to the market square, Sierra gasped. That's suicide. They control the square. I know, Jack said. But I need the public to see the truth. We need eyes, cameras, witnesses. Lyra hesitated. What if they kill us before we speak? Jack looked down at the blood on the floor. Then we die showing what monsters they are. Later that night, the lights of Market Square were bright. Crowds of aliens laughed, ate, and traded. Music played. Guards walked. Around calmly. And into that world of normal walked a human holding two alien girls by the hand. Heads turned. Voices whispered. A vendor pointed. Isn't that the man on the wanted feed? A tall alien stepped into Jack's path. You've got 2 stolen meat units, human. Hand them over. Jack didn't stop. They're not meat. They're living. They were never yours. A camera drone floated overhead. Dozens of beings started filming. The alien grabbed Jack's arm. That was his mistake. Jack twisted, slammed the alien to the ground, and raised his voice to the crowd. This station sells people as food, he shouted. They call it rare steak. But they're serving children. Girls, lives. Everyone stared. Some gasped. Others laughed nervously. They told me she couldn't speak, Jack said, pointing at Lyra. Say something. Lyra, show them. Lyra stepped forward. Her voice was shaking, but clear. I was born in a tank. I was never taught words. I learned from the screams of others like me. She looked straight into the nearest camera. We are not meat. We are people, please. Help us. A few aliens in the crowd looked uncomfortable. But then, deep voice roared through the square's loudspeakers. Enough. The screen above the square flickered, and the face of the head butcher appeared. A tall alien with eyes like black glass and skin that shimmered like silver oil. The human speaks lies, the voice echoed. return the property now. Or face the price of blood. Jack stepped forward. You already took my blood, he growled. Try and take more. The square fell into silence, then explosions behind them. Dozens of armored hunters dropped into the square. But this time, the crowd didn't run. They watched. Cameras stayed focused. And Jack, holding the hands of two once-forgotten girls, stood his ground. He walked into the restaurant to eat. And now he was the reason the whole galaxy woke up. The market square had turned into a battlefield. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew from broken stalls. The crowd screamed and scattered. Some ran, but others stayed hidden behind crates, holding up their cameras, recording everything. In the center stood Jack. He was bleeding from the arm, but he didn't back down. Lyra and Sierra stood behind him, trembling, but they didn't run either. The hunters moved in, silent, cold, their red eyes locked onto Jack, like he was just another target. But Jack wasn't just a target anymore. He was a symbol. Take them alive, one hunter said. The human's body is enough. Jack raised the stolen shock rod from the last fight and pointed it forward. Come and get it. Suddenly, boom! A bright flash hit the sky. One of the hunter bots exploded from behind. From the rooftops above, a new group appeared. Station rebels, hackers, freedom seekers. Aliens who had seen Jack's broadcast just moments ago. They saw the truth, and they chose to fight. Protect the girls. Someone yelled, protect the human. Lyra looked around in shock. They're helping us? Jack gave her a small smile. They heard you, Sarah whispered. They believe us. A loud roar came from the square's screen. The head butcher was watching. You fools. You ruin order. You break law. You will be erased. Jack grabbed Lyra's hand and stepped into the center of the square. No, he shouted. We're ending your order. Then Lyra did something one expected. She stepped forward and raised her palm. Her skin glowed. Bright white light pulsed from her fingers, rising in waves across the square. It wasn't just beauty, it was power. Something hidden inside her all along. Jack blinked. What is that? Lyra's voice became strong, clear. My kind was never meant to be food. We were created to be servants, but we carry more. Inside us is a signal, a call for awakening. And then it happened. Across the galaxy, the hidden labs, the tanks, the frozen pods began to pulse. In far-off systems, others like her began to wake up. Sierra clutched her sister's arm. You started it. You started the signal. The hunters began to glitch. Their systems failed. Their tags burned. The control chips shattered. The butcher's voice returned, shaky this time. What have you done? Jack stared at Lyra. You ended the lie. Later. The restaurant was closed. The kitchen destroyed. The cages emptied. Jack stood near the landing bay, ready to board a small ship. Lyra and Sierra walked beside him, free at last. Lyra looked up. Where will you go now? Jack shrugged. Don't know. Maybe a place where dinner doesn't scream. She smiled. You didn't save us for a reward. No, Jack said. I saved you because you were never on the menu. Sierra giggled. I still don't understand what steak is. Jack laughed softly. I'll cook you one. A real one. No chains, no fear, just food. The ship's engines hummed to life. As they lifted off, the stars opened before them. And behind them, across the galaxy, the message kept spreading. They were never meat. They were lives, and one human changed everything.